Hello, everybody. Tracy Hackler finally back with another episode of the Roadshow Roundup, episode number 24. If you're counting at home, I know most of us are. I know I am. And we have a full screen for the first time in quite a while, actually. And I'm so excited. Let's just go around the horn real quick. First of all, Roadshow Roundup is a collection of everything that's going on in the Roadshow Cards franchise. 3 shops open right now, a 4th one coming soon, hopefully. Trey Huntsman, top center, Kentucky Roadshow. Kevin Kulikowski, happy belated birthday. The gentleman's birthday was yesterday. And he's the maestro of the New York Roadshow in Bronxville. Bottom left, Cody Krim, supporting our friends at Indy Card Exchange, Andy and the gang over there from the Texas Roadshow.
Funny story behind this later if we want to dive into it.
Yes, absolutely. It's a funny story, and we do want to. And then, obviously, lower middle, lower right, Justin Channels, Ryan Channels, who will run the coming soon California Roadshow. Soon is a relative term, but it's on the way. Gentlemen, first of all, welcome. I've missed you all immensely.
Good to be back.
Yes, it's good to be hacked.
I thought the dad jokes were the channels thing. Are we?
Don't you dare cut me like that. So first things first, a little bit delayed, but the National Sports Collectors Convention I think was a rousing success for just about everybody involved. I think I've heard nothing but rave reviews. Although it was Atlantic City. And a lot of us, myself included, were bemoaning the site, but ended up, if you did not go outside of the convention center, it was awesome.
So there.
Yes, if you slept there, which was not a bad idea. But anyway, you guys just want to go in order and kind of talk about real quickly your takeaways from the 42nd National Sports Collectors Convention.
Let's do it.
You want me to bat lead off?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, for us, for our shop, it was just unbelievable. First off, shout out to Hack for the booth. I mean, that was by far probably the coolest booth at the National, probably tied with the Stranger Things cube that Zero Cool had out, but I'm still taking ours. As for like our individual booth and everything, I couldn't really have envisioned it going any better. It was so good to get to see a lot of the people that either buy from us on our site, listening to us right here, follow us on Instagram, whatever it was. It was just cool to see how the community outside of all of our cities was interacting with us, and so excited to be a part of what we were doing there. Same at trade night, wherever we were going, parties, dinners. It was just cool that the Roadshow kind of felt like it was on the forefront of the National, going from a 6-footer last year in the middle, of the dealer setup to front and center in the corporate area. It was night and day, different kind of experience, but it was really cool. My team, like Max, Dante, Isaiah, all those guys, getting to have them together for the first time, helping run the booth, getting to interact with them and have our team together was pretty cool as well.
Outstanding. Kev?
So it happened so long ago, I forgot about it, to be honest. Not doing a recap last week sort of killed momentum. So
the National closed on July 31st. That's like 11 days ago or something.
Oh, that's
we met Floyd Mayweather, remember?
Okay. We met Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now my memory is back on track. It was super cool, the National. I mean, obviously that goes without saying. Meeting people who you just know from online, sort of meeting collectors from all over is awesome. We bought a bunch of great stuff. We sold a bunch of great stuff. We were complimented, and I know this is across the board at Roadshow. We were complimented on our competitive pricing. One of the things that was said a lot is that folks were really high on their cards and wouldn't come down. And they said that it was refreshing that they came to Roadshow, whether it be any of us, and our prices were fair, and we were willing to negotiate, and it was an easy hub for folks to do business, either buying, trading, or selling. And I know that that's what we strive for. And so props to all of us for that. That was just great all around, especially Cody, man. Cody and Chase over there in Texas. There was not a moment when they were not wheeling and dealing, with the exception of Saturday when Cody decided he didn't want to work. But other than
I was going to say Saturday, I was not. Chase was wheeling and dealing.
Right. Well,
he was. Yes, Chase was
wheeling and dealing. But Cody decided to take off because Disney on Ice was in the convention center next door, and he wanted to go see that instead. But no, it was great. I mean, shout out to all of our friends at Panini. They know how to throw a party, as always. The peach dinner was amazing. Floyd Mayweather was the special guest. That was phenomenal.
The porterhouse.
Yeah, I mean, the porterhouse to die for. But no, it was really good. It was really fun. The one thing that I will point out is I think everybody sort of mentally prepared for Saturday to be like pandemonium and wild. But then I thought Saturday was significantly slower than Thursday and Friday. I feel like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, like
I mean, sales wise, Wednesday and Thursday were busier for us than even Friday.
Yeah, and I think it was I think people wanted to get in early to make sure they weren't missing cards, which awesome. B, I think everybody was so worried about the weekend that then they were like, all right, well, maybe I'll try and go Wednesday, Thursday to avoid that. But then, so the one thing, you know, we're trying to do business here. Obviously, we are in the business of trying to make some money. It seemed like the more savvy consumers were there earlier, because I had a harder time buying stuff on Saturday than I did earlier in the week. And then Sunday I picked up again. But like Saturday, it seemed like the folks were there. And I don't mean this as a negative to any of our AWLs who might fall into this category or otherwise, is like Saturday was really significantly more like the casual sports card fan who went up to a booth and tried to sell it 100% of eBay to the booth. And, you know, like we ran into a lot of that on Saturday. Which made business dealings a little bit harder, but you know, we were still selling cards, but the bringing inventory in for us at least slowed down on Saturday, but then picked back up on Sunday. So that's my recap. Lewis did amazing. Shout out to Lewis.
He did.
That was his first real like dive into craziness of a card show, and what a way to start on that one. But yeah, he was awesome. Super proud of him and the work that he did. Trade night was you know, pretty good. And that's all I got. So we'll punt it over to Cody.
Cody.
Yeah, so as usual, I don't really have much left to say because Kevin takes up 20 minutes during his recap. But essentially, I agree with everything Kev said. I think, like me and Kev, wait, when did we go to Margaritaville?
That was the first night.
Was that Wednesday night?
That was Wednesday night.
We were there for 7 hours.
So Wednesday night, we all went to Margaritaville, and I think me and I don't think the channels were in yet, right? Were y'all? No, y'all were there.
Yeah,
and
I was in the center of the table.
There ended up being like 20 people, and shout out to Bay Area Cards, Rob Ackerman, for picking up that tab, because what a cluster that was.
Yeah, we were with some of our industry friends who were ordering drinks by the fours.
But anyway, I remember that night specifically because we were all talking, and it was like, man, if this was Wednesday, like, A, we didn't bring enough cards or wax, and B, by the time Saturday rolls around, like, how are they possibly going to fit more people in this building? Like, and then Thursday outdid. I remember after Wednesday, I was like, that is the most people I've ever seen at a card show in my life. And then Thursday rolled around, and I was like, that's the most people I've ever seen at a card show in my life. And to be honest, I was like, so Chase flew in Thursday, and he got to the booth around 2-ish, 2:30-ish, something like that. And the original plan was for him to go over and help set up for trade night a little early. And we ended up having, I mean, we sent Bailey and Sasha and Jimbo and a bunch of other people from the Roadshow, but I was like, I can't send Chase because we are so busy right now. And I mean, we were busy until literally thankfully Trey came over like 5 minutes before the show and then was like, hey, we need to start wrapping up. We need to get to trade night. And it was just like, man, like from 2 to the show close was just like a whirlwind. It was so busy. And then surprisingly, like Kev said, Friday and Saturday was noticeably slower for sure from Wednesday and Thursday. And I can't tell you why that is, because I would assume that anyone that came in and was there on Thursday probably stayed Friday and Saturday. I can't imagine that someone flew in and was like, all right, I'm done on Thursday. See you later, guys. Like, bye.
So I have a thought about that, Cody, which I just thought of, right? And nobody's pointed it out yet. The internet was atrocious, like horrible. Yeah. And so maybe folks who were there for the whole weekend instead like did their Wednesday, Thursday, had a hard time dealing with the internet, didn't want to deal with that frustration, and maybe went to the casino or maybe went home early, or like, I mean, I don't know. That could have possibly, right?
So my thought process too was like maybe it was a corporate area. Maybe we were so busy on Wednesday and Thursday because a lot of people try to get to the corporate areas, Panini, Blowout, all those places to capitalize on their promos early in the week before maybe they change or I mean, we all know Baseball Card Exchange, they run these specials, but like by Thursday they're sold out of stuff. So I was like, maybe that played a part in it. But then I talked to all of our buddies that are set up everywhere else across the show, and they're like, no, like we thought we were going to be like drowning. We were so busy on Friday and Saturday, and it just didn't play out that way. So that's one confusing thing. I will agree with Kev. One negative, there's only 2 negatives that I can say about the show. One is it was in Atlantic City, and I never, ever want to go back to that city ever again in my entire life.
Shout out the Showboat.
And number 2, the internet was just like, I don't know how we live in 2022, and there are literally, hundreds of millions of dollars for sure in deals, potentially north of $1 billion when you count in every single dealer in the show. Like maybe there was $1 billion in deals going on. And like we don't have internet is just a wild thing. And I even talked to a couple of our friends from Sports Card Investor, Teapot and Doug, who's a big Kentucky guy. Yeah. And I gave them the idea, and hopefully they're able to figure out a way to streamline it and incorporate it in their app. But basically what I thought is a good idea, and someone needs to capitalize on it, hopefully they give us royalties for this on our podcast, is there needs to be some way to like download an offline version of comps. And maybe that like updates every 24 hours when you connect to Wi-Fi, something like that. But in the world we live in now, it was wild that like, you know, I think it actually played into our advantage a lot more than it did like the dealer advantage and it did the customer, just because like all me and Chase do ultimately, other than like helping customers out front, is like look up cards. Like we're looking up like, what is this James Bouknight Noir auto go? Like we're looking up comps to put stuff on the site like 24/7. So like we have a general idea, whereas like I think that may hurt the consumer who like has to look up eBay for a majority of their stuff. So that was wild. That was wild.
I'll say, Cody, to your point, like I agree with you for the most part, but there were 2 instances over the course of the National where my iPad, my phone, and Lewis's phone could not load the sold results on eBay. And I'm sitting staring at Homeboy for like 5 minutes. And it was whatever it was. It was like $400 worth of cards. And after like 5 minutes of just not the internet loading, I'm just like, dude, I don't want these cards that much, right? Like, I'm sorry. I don't want to wait. Like, you have a limited amount of time. This isn't working. Maybe try coming back a little bit later, but like, you gotta go.
So what I found, and after this, I'm going to follow it up with a big positive of the National, but what I found to be the case was that it hurt us more selling. I mean, we had a tremendous time selling. Like our sales were phenomenal for that week, and I think blew any of our expectations out of the water. But like there were so many times where like a person would come up and they'd be interested in a card and they'd be like, what can you do on it? And I would give them my best price and they would be trying to find it. And they were like, I don't know if that's a good deal or not because I literally can't find it. But regardless, let's move on to a positive. And that is my biggest positive from the National. I think this is going to become more and more of a trend as we get further and further into this world of cards becoming cool in the reality of the world is the Zero Cool Stranger Things setup. And that was unworldly, like blew anything I've ever seen at a National out of the water. I mean, obviously, like we are, not to like brag on ourselves, but like we're in this special opportunity where like we're one of the first card shops to set up in a corporate area and kind of have like a corporate style booth like we did. But like I've never seen anything like the Stranger Things Zero Cool thing. And if that is what is to come moving forward from Fanatics, like I can't wait to see where this hobby is in the next 1 to 5 years. Like it's just going to be wild. So that's what I got.
Love it.
All right. Well, I want to jump back on one thing you said about the internet. The one thing I'm confused about the whole time was if it's a convention center and they do things like this, presumably every week, how is that? My biggest question was, how is that still happening at a convention?
Well, it was what they wanted to charge. Nobody was
real quickly,
the real internet because
we could all have phenomenal internet service, hardwired or Wi-Fi, if we want to pay really, really strong money for it.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, most people obviously didn't think it was worth it. Now, maybe that changes because of how reliant we are now, maybe more than ever, on instant comps and things like that, where they can get that number. But it was significant, like in many cases, more than you paid for a booth, like a corporate booth. And so we obviously decided to rely on a hotspot and make the best of it. So anyway, that's the quick answer, as is the case in most everything, is money.
So I'll touch on something real quick too, Justin.
Sure.
Is that for the consumer on the customer end and on the attendee end of coming into the National, they were offering Wi-Fi to the customer when you walk in the door at $80. And I'm not sure if that was 80 a day, maybe y'all are aware.
It was per day because I bought
it.
I bought it on Saturday just to.
My biggest complaint that I actually heard from attendees was that they spent the $80 and they still couldn't get it to load. That was the biggest complaint I heard from attendees was that, you know, you go to shows and there's I heard that there was like north of 150,000 people was number. I haven't heard an exact number. That's just what I heard. But it's like when you have that many people, like obviously service providers in that specific area are going to be bogged down. And I think that that's usually expected at card shows, but it was very disappointing on the attendee end to pay $80 a day and still have Wi-Fi that would load.
Well, let's move on to some positives. So,
of course, the positives would come from Cali. Go ahead. What do we got?
Hey, I brought up a positive.
Yeah, I know you did. I know.
Positive.
Not always negative.
Yeah. I just want to throw it out there how proud I am of our team here at the Cali Roadshow for our thing. You know, first time setting up the National, and obviously our shop isn't open yet, stuff. But I feel like for the going into it, having no inventory or anything like that, and really just kind of starting from scratch at the National, wheeling, dealing was a ton of fun. Perhaps my favorite part was seeing people that we had met online or people that we had, you know, seen at shows in California, because Ryan and I go to all the shows around California and all that stuff, and people seeked us out because we had out on social media, you know, doing all the marketing and all that stuff. And it was a great time. I think I forget if it was Friday or Saturday, but this goes back to the Roadshow booth and how awesome it was. We actually had, I think it was 3 or 4 people sitting in the chairs with their slab cases open, like trading and selling cards inside the Roadshow Cards booth, which I thought was so awesome because it's really just a callback to what we do every day at our shops. Like that's the kind of environment that we want to promote. We want to have, and a big shout out to Mikey as well for the on our side for capturing all the content. We started a YouTube channel. No,
Hello.
yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, and those videos are doing pretty well. I mean, 0 subscribers. I think our trade night has almost 4,000 views, something like that, which is cool to see. For me, the national really kind of showed, it shows you what's possible and where this is all going. So being very, a forward thinker makes me super excited once we finally get the Cali Roadshow open. Shout out to Cody, Kevin, Trey, all of you guys were so helpful to Ryan and I, and with your advice and kind of guidance throughout the week, as well as, I mean, everyone at the Roadshow. So, yeah, that's kind of wraps up my favorite thing. Able to pick up a few grails, do some cool deals. Yeah, nothing better than the national.
So Ryan, real quick before you go,
Sure.
I feel bad because I didn't shout out Chase, and like literally because of me getting sick over the weekend, like Texas Roadshow wouldn't have been possible without Chase, and he just first ever national and just stepped in and ran it flawlessly. So, and I think at one point Dubs came over on Saturday and was like, "Hey, are you comfortable with Cody's systems and Shopify and all this stuff?" And Chase was like, "What do you mean Cody systems? I do everything in Shopify already." So, which I thought was funny because I told Dubs, I was like, "Look, if you got to worry more about me messing something up in Shopify than Chase, when it comes to Shopify and stuff, Chase is my Dubs where I'm just you handle it." So all that being said, not possible without my number 2, Chase, who's probably going to take my job at some point. So I just wanted to give him a huge shout out and pass it back over to Ryan.
Yeah. So on that note, I'll give a huge shout out to Mikey and Shannon for their help all week.
And my wife Bailey, I love you,
Bailey. Yeah,
good call.
We all love you.
Yeah. So
We love your
Wow.
cookies.
Now Trey's sitting there feeling like a jerk because he didn't shout out Emily for her help.
Way to go, Trey.
shout out
Woof.
to all the Roadshow wives and significant others. You guys were amazing. And shout out to Roadshow for having them out too. Really, really, really just proud of this company, excited where it's going. And I think I heard that the official announced attendance was 90,000 plus, and that doesn't include dealers. So I would say easily over 100,000 people at the show.
Yeah, so the 150,000 I heard was total attendance from Wednesday at 2:00 till close on Sunday, and it included all dealers, manufacturers, and it may have even included staff workers.
Yeah. Oh, including work. Yeah. Because I mean, it was insane. There was so many people, and especially I think just based on my memory, I think Thursday was definitely the biggest day, and I don't want to say it was all because of Trade Night, but Trade Night was a huge success. Shout out to Jimmy, the founder of Trade Night. It's incredible, and
depending on who you ask.
Right. Well, it was, it just hit the way that event has evolved into what it is now. It's just, I'm really proud of it. And it just Thursday all day long, we had people coming up to the booth. Oh man, so excited. Trade night. Make sure you bring your curries, bring all this stuff. It just was so, just the hobby love and the engagement from everybody. And it was a lot of fun. I kind of had to take a second and just be like, okay, so 3 years ago, I was just an average collector. And now we're at the National, we're in a corporate booth, we're hosting a 3,000 person trade night. And then, because of the people we know through Roadshow, I got to help run a Chris Mullen signing. It was an amazing, amazing week and just exceeded my expectations beyond my wildest dreams. And Proud of everybody. I'm proud of myself. It's just a super fulfilling week. Yeah, like I could go into the negatives, but it's literally just like what everybody else said. That especially the city. The city was the biggest thing for me. But
having to work with your twin all week was a big negative.
Yeah, it was nice to get a little break from Justin afterward. I'm kidding. we had a great time, and just extremely excited for the future. And I going into the week, I was pretty bogged. I'm still like kind of bogged down by the fact that the shop's not open. It's I take it very personally. I'm very, very excited to have the shop open, and the amount of people that came up and just like, hey, we'll be there when you're open. We're patient, we're excited, and it really kind of was a nice reset for me from an emotional standpoint as far as the shop goes. Like I'm in a viewpoint because just so many people are excited and they're willing to wait. And I know that when it happens, it's going to be great. So it was a really fun week.
We're going to win that vote. We're going to win that.
You want to do a little fun exercise here real quick, which should take 30 seconds.
Absolutely.
Everybody's favorite pickup personally from the National that they got. If we want to start with Tracy, did you pick anything up that you liked?
Yeah, there's no deals to be had on Russell Wilson cards. They were all way overpriced, but I paid overpriced for I guess my favorite one was the Contenders 9510 auto, BGS 9510 auto.
Not the one you got from me? The RP.
No, that was nice too, but that's like college and you're talking about the Bowman one?
Blue one, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's pretty too, but it's not Contenders. So yeah, and then just real quick before you guys go into, I thought y'all all did a phenomenal job at the National. I was nervous going in. I usually don't get nervous, but like I told y'all, I think in a past episode, Jimmy, one of the first things he told me when I started was, I want this booth and I want it to look like this, and I want the meeting space in the center. And my first thought, I never told Jimmy this, my first thought was, we're not going to be able to get a booth. So to go from there to getting a booth in this prime location really just is a testament to strong relationships with some of the best people in the business. And then the secret weapon who made the booth sing was a guy named Kusi. I don't want to give too much info because I don't want people to take him from us. But Kusi is a legend and a magician, and he made that booth beautiful. So anyway, I wanted to say
you're not going to do it, but you need to give yourself more credit. Like really, honestly, you were the catalyst that made all this happen. Like honestly, you absolutely were. Your connections open these doors. Your contacts open these doors. Shout out to you and take a second to appreciate yourself.
Look, I'm grateful. I'm extremely grateful. And look, I've done 20 nationals or whatever. I'm older than all you guys. So I've never really been nervous for a national in a lot of years. And I was nervous for this one. But man, thanks to you all on the screen, all of our team who's not on the screen, kind of behind the scenes, man, it really just was, it blew away my expectations. And so I'm grateful. And I know that, that it's kind of sets the tone. The reason I wanted what we got was for y'all, for the dudes on the team who work hard, and we're not that this was our coming out party, but it was kind of our, hey, we're Roadshow, come meet us thing. And I wanted that for you guys and for the people who aren't on the screen who have worked so hard to build this thing. So I was really grateful for that, and not grateful for the overpriced Russell Wilson cards, but I still managed to pick a bunch up. So too many, don't tell my wife. She was on her way to Italy anyway, so she didn't care about me getting Russell Wilson cards. So yeah, Trey, go. Best pickup. Oh, I know what yours is.
I have a couple, but I have to jump off here in a second because I'm alone at the shop for a little bit.
You have customers?
4 minutes. But my top two, I got both things that I came in wanting. I wanted a Koufax on-card auto and Marvel, PMG, Moon Knight. I came away with both of them. Probably my favorite, though, is kind of random, but I got a Lando Norris zipper patch dynasty before the guy could get to Kevin. I was like,
Stop. You called me over. I threw the assist on you on that.
You did. You threw the assist. I was like, look, I'm going to lock this up. Big assist to Kevin. He's got too big of a heart, even though he doesn't act like it.
I know he does.
But
He does.
quick thing before I have to jump off. Seriously, like, I want to say what everybody else has said about Hackler, like, just awesome. But the big thing this weekend, or I guess 2 weekends ago, was I'm just thankful for the leadership that we have in our company, the guys that we've got leading us, if it's Hackler, Jimmy, Dubs, whoever. I've seen it this week because Dubs has been in the Bahamas, like the little stuff that you don't see. Like I would come in, all right, let's do this. And I'm like 30 minutes in, I'm doing all the stuff that David does every day. And I'm like, the shop opens in like 5 minutes and I haven't gotten anything done. So the little stuff that our management team does, got enough water there, Kev? Good Lord. 5K after
we still don't have air conditioner in
Is
here.
that I was gonna say, is that from your HVAC?
I'm sweating.
Emily bought one of those in AC because the water tasted like urine. She brushed her teeth with that every morning.
It probably was urine.
Yeah, that wasn't water.
Yeah.
I felt like Elf in the shower because I was 6 inches taller than the hose.
I've never felt tall.
Who are you telling? Trey?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Cody's
And
taller.
I'm short.
I had to like point the shower head up, so my shower was like spraying up and like over like, water.
Yeah,
I
know
just
what it
started
feels like
spraying
to be
cologne
50
in the
tall.
morning. I was like, I'm not even doing this shower. No, I'm kidding. I took showers.
I didn't even wash my hair all week.
But seriously, thank you guys for setting all of that up, making our life like we literally step off a plane and our life was so easy for that week. I don't know a whole lot of shops that
Shout
really
out to your limo driver who got you
just
to.
really appreciate that. We didn't have to worry about rides.
Well, me and Tracy had to
worry
wait for like 9 hours in Philly for our driver to actually get there. But other than that, it was great.
leave a 1-star review and take it up with management. I don't know what you want.
And then we're going to set up, and Dub's trying to drive us back to Philadelphia for setup. Were you in the truck, Tracy, with Kathy and Jimmy's lap in the front seat?
Yes, I was.
And he missed his exit, and he like all of a sudden, there aren't any frontage roads as we learned in New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
We literally had to almost drive back into Philadelphia.
I thought he was going to kill us. I thought we were literally about to die.
Oh, were you in the car with David or Jimmy?
Jimmy was in the car. David was driving.
Yeah.
David, okay.
Kathy's
So
in
you're
Jimmy's
going
lap in the
14
front
miles
seat.
an hour.
But Kathy was in Jimmy's lap because we had like 5 people in the back, and because we thought it was going to be like a 5-minute drive to the setup, and Dubs missed his turn that we may or may not have told him to take, and immediately ends up on the interstate going back to Philly.
Yeah, completely illegal too. By the way, what we did that on that trip.
But I'm gonna jump off here, get our shop.
Yeah, go work, man.
Love y'all.
Love
Stay
you.
out of trouble.
Trace.
You too. I'm walking. All right, Kev, your biggest pickups, your
All
favorite
right,
pickup?
so I have one pickup that I still haven't revealed to the public yet. So we're holding off on. Well, you guys know what it is. You've seen it, but it hasn't been posted or
I know
told
what
to
it
anybody
is.
yet. I'm waiting for the summer break for this specific sport to end to put that one out there in the world. But my other favorite one, I guess, I bought an AJ Styles Transcendent Superfractor. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. Shout out to Jameson Exquisite Sport Cards for getting that deal done. And strangely, the reason I was able to acquire that card, he had sold it on eBay. I actually got outbid on it on eBay, but because it was over a certain price threshold, it got sent to the authentication. And this card is sealed in the Topps Transcendent seal. And the authentication company kicked it back as not authentic.
Whoa.
And so the eBay sale had to get canceled then. I know Jameson. I know that the card is legit.
Sounds like you bought
because
Evan. No, okay.
No, well, I mean, he pulled it, right? So it's
Right.
weird that like he pulled it directly from the Topps case. Super weird, but so shout out to whoever authenticates cards on eBay, and kick that one back as a no because that landed that card in my collection. So
Love it.
those
awesome.
are my two. I only bought like 3 or 4 cards total, because I spent so much
I think
money
that's
on the
all
first
about,
one.
too. Yeah.
I spent so much money on the first one that then I got nervous because I bought it on Thursday, and I was like, well, shoot, now I want to like pass on things, but then ended up going home with more money than I wanted to go home with, which is not a bad thing, I guess. Maybe
It's not.
I don't know.
It's not, but I get your point. I did too, also, because I wanted
Right,
to buy.
like I created a budget for myself. I was like, I am buying sports cards with this. I spent half that budget on day one and was just like, all right, maybe I should reel it in a little bit. But then reeled it in far too much. And then by the time I closed my booth Sunday and was frantically walking around the show, like running around the show, practically looking for things to buy.
Find anything.
I couldn't find it. I was like, take my money, please. But I was throwing out assists left and right. And you know, somebody who I was walking around with who will remain nameless, like landed a Dwayne Johnson Rock Scorpion King autograph that I found and was able to negotiate a price on.
And I think they may have also got a pretty big garbage pail purchase.
They did, but that same person passed on a Stranger Things triple auto because we couldn't find a comp on it. And literally last night, he and I spent an hour looking at the map of the National, trying to identify who the vendor was so he can reach out to them to try and buy that card from them. And that exercise has continued into today, and we've still not had any success. But he's doing another level of cross-checking today, so hopefully he lands that card. But yeah, so that's it. I didn't pick up much, but the one big pickup is remaining nameless until I drop it on social media. But the AJ Styles is the second.
The phenomenal one.
The phenomenal flat earther AJ Styles.
Oh no. Ryan, big pickup?
Yeah, so I had pickups. My favorite though was I got a Curry Gold Tops, and by the reason it's my favorite, obviously I love the top set, but I'll always have the memory of Trey was working a deal and our booth was next to his, and he just goes, Ryan, and I look over and he's got the gold tops, and he's like pointing at it, and I was like, what do you want me to do? He's like, well, nothing. I was like, I'm still working the deal, but like, look at it. And I'm like, okay, cool. I was like, well, don't show me if it's not for sale. And then like the guy left, and then he came back and we made the deal happen, and it was just like, yeah, it was really cool. So it was a fun deal, and it's nice to get to support the Kentucky shop at the same time as they gave me a good deal. They made some money, and so everybody's happy, and I'm.
Is that the one with the serial number on it?
Huh?
The fancy serial number?
Yes. So yeah, the serial number also, just as a collector, was kind of cool. It has my birth year rather, as the serial number. So 1996 out of 2009. So it was pretty cool. It was a PSA 7, so not the greatest shape, but definitely one I want to crack out and get signed and then slab it up, and it'll never leave. So excited to have that one. And yeah, just it was a lot of really cool cards. There's some cards I have like leads on that I'm trying to get still from the National. So there's some cool stuff going on. It was an amazing show. Nothing like it.
Love it. Justin,
Yeah.
favorite pickup?
Yeah, I've got a big one. I'm pretty sure everyone and their mother knows what it is by now because I was so ecstatic. Just out of the blue, I'm going to give a big shout out to my friends Logan, Mylan, and Dylan because I had met them a couple of times, but they like made it their mission once they found this card. The three of them all came over. Just like, oh my God, you're never going to believe what we found. It Derek Carr's 2014 Prism Gold Auto, and I'm like, whoa, holy cow! And then the guy was kind of being reluctant about selling it, or like I was super busy that week, and it took him all the way till Saturday to get the guy in front of me. They told me on like Thursday that they had found it, and then we're standing in the group meeting on Saturday, inside the Roadshow booth. At the end of the day, we're doing like our whole thing, and the guy walks over and he like does city. He flashes it over, and I'm standing in the meeting like, oh my god, there it is. And then we go over, we make the deal happen. I bought it in a 9.9 on Saturday night. Sunday morning, I take it over to Beckett because I looked it over. The lighting at the Showboat Hotel next to our bed, the little light. Oh, it's great light. So that really helped me analyze the car.
Wow, you even named it positive about the Showboat. I didn't think that was possible.
The lighting and the rest of the hotel horrendous, but man, those bedside tables hit.
Help me lock down the 9.5. Funny story about that is I was going to the Beckett booth. The lady put her arm in front of me. Slapping stops here, and I was like, "Oh no! I've got one card, and I really want it." And the guy at the front's like, "He's got one." He goes, "Yeah, let him in." And I walked up to the thing. He goes, "Why? What?" He goes, "What are you so up in arms about? Let me see it." I pulled out the card, and he goes, "Oh, that's a pretty good one." And then he's like, "What are we doing with it?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't agree with the grade. I think that it is a 9.5. Be reevaluated and throw it in a holder if you agree." He's like, "All right, we'll take a look at it." Took him about an hour, and then they slabbed it. Now it's a pop 3 of one of his best cards out there. So as a collector, I'm super stoked about that. Yeah, I don't know. That's one of those cards that could help me put a down payment on a house if they win a Super Bowl. So the next thing is,
you won't have to worry about that. I think the card will be safe in your collection forever.
Yeah. Okay.
Go on.
I'd probably still keep it anyway. The next thing is I ripped more wax this year than I've ripped. I mean, I can't remember the last time I ripped that much wax. So, I mean, just the availability and the variety at the National. Kevin, I also budgeted for myself. I brought home $30. I have a 20 and a 10 in my card box still, so I did do very well. But yeah, no, I had a good time. Ripped a lot of wax and was able to pick up, like I said, one of my grails. When I started collecting, I never thought I'd own a gold prism, let alone a 9.510. So yeah, that does it for me. Cody's back, so let's throw it over.
Sorry, I had a customer come in.
Hey Kev, do you know what those are?
Well, I was gonna make a joke about no one else here knowing about that, but I didn't want to. Kev, it's okay. The channels don't know either.
Yeah.
Listen, I just need to hopefully WWE Select actually comes today, and we ordered it. And I'm just gonna rip some of that, and then my sales numbers will be okay today. My wallet won't, but my sales numbers will. So.
I'm excited.
So I actually have 2 pickups. One, probably my favorite, is a Mike Trout Diamond Icons Jumbo Patch Auto. PSA 10. That's a pop 1, but it's only out of 10, so it's not like there's a ton anyways. But it's 3-color patch, and I love it because it has like the MLB authentication sticker on it.
What does this Mike Trout do?
He does the baseball.
Does he actually though, or does he just sit in a doctor's office most of the time?
Look at his WAR. Check out his WAR.
Are you? And I mean, look, and
I can tell you his WAR is like over double of Buster Posey, and supposedly he's going to be a Hall of Famer. So
he will be.
Not deservedly, but he may be.
Side note, can I and we need to cut soon, but like Draymond Green requesting a max contract is borderline laughable. But
I don't want
to get into that.
I don't want it. I've already left a group text over drastic Draymond Green thing. So
full disclosure, I just had to stand up right now because my leg was cramping and my hammy was cramping big time. So I'm sorry if I.
Is it because of your holy underwear or?
No.
Who gave you it?
I need your water, Kevin. I'm not hydrated. All right, sorry.
We got no dehydration problems here. Go ahead, Cody. I'm sorry.
So then my second favorite pickup was I actually picked up Unfortunately, he passed away later that weekend. But on Thursday, I picked up a patch auto of a game used patch auto of Bill Russell.
Nice.
Nice.
So, I always thought his stuff was undervalued. It obviously has since skyrocketed. But I mean, I was able to get an on-card patch auto from like Opulence, I think, like 2016 Opulence.
Wow.
An on-card game used patch auto, and I think it was like $600 or something.
No.
Wow.
Stop.
Yeah.
And that
Which was
person's
like not
probably
even
doing,
that much under
voodoo
comp. Like there
spells
was
on you right now.
there was a comp on it at like $650.
Wow.
So I mean, I think now that card's probably like $2,000 or more.
$2,000, yeah.
At least, yeah.
Which I didn't buy it. I obviously didn't buy it knowing he was unfortunately going to pass away 2 days later.
Stop death prospecting, bro.
Yeah. I bet you already sold it too, huh?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, show us the card with a copy of today's.
It's on the site. It's on the site right now.
Yeah, it's on the site for $2,200, but I can do $2,000. No, I mean, for the right offer, I may would sell it, but yeah, I mean that was just more of like I'm buying a lot of like legend game use stuff just because we all know that there's literally no game use stuff on even current players. So like I bought not even a big pickup, but like I bought a Magic Johnson Opulence game use Team USA patch auto out of like 10, and it was like $500. And it's like, how many game use on card Magic Johnson autos from Team USA are there, like from the Dream Team? Like, are there actually out there? Like,
so interesting that we're talking about like the trend shift to game used, and we know that you know you took a secret hidden shot at Eminence there with that comment about the game used stuff. But
I didn't, but yes.
Right.
Wild. $30,000 product and
for event one, or
yeah.
not
which is fine on rookies, right? Like I get it. Like
it's not if it comes out after the season. You had a full season of Mac Jones jerseys.
Yeah, but like that's only 16, 17 jerseys, and like who knows how many he's trading, and like then not only like Imminence has been in the works to be built for a year. Like it's not like
well, yeah.
Like I don't mind necessarily like rookie stuff not being game used. Where I get annoyed is like I saw an Eminence Roger Staubach patch auto on card out of like 5, and I was like, oh, I want this card. And then I flip it over, and it's like not from any specific, or I didn't flip it over. I looked at the second scan on eBay because we live in the 21st century, but.
Unless you're in an Atlantic City convention center,
yeah. And it said not from any specific game, and I'm like, what?
Dude, I saw a Mitchell and Ness tag on a veteran thing from Eminence, and it's like, okay, that wasn't a company. So like, there's no disguising that.
Tracy passed on probably the sickest John Elway patch I've seen in my entire life. At the National, was it like an anniversary patch?
Yeah, the 75th anniversary throwback.
Yeah. And I mean, it was like an immaculate jumbo 1-of-1 75th anniversary patch, and it was game used. Or sorry, it was like non-specific game or event. Hang on.
It was.
Hello.
Just real quick, I was going to say, this is going to sound hokey, but it's so true, and you guys know this too, and probably feel the same. It's not a pickup, but just the memories of talking to people that we deal with around the year or around the years, and we only see them on social or DMs or text, and talking to them in person and shaking hands and hugging. I'm a hugger. That's always my favorite part of any national I've ever been to, and so that rang true again this year. So it's a psychological pickup, maybe an emotional pickup, but not a physical trading card pickup.
So I missed that, and Ryan, you feel free to cut this out. What was it? What's your favorite part?
Hugging people.
Yeah, like seeing and talking to and physically interacting with the people that we deal with at other companies, at Upper Deck or Topps or Panini or all of our friends in the industry, from Ryan Johnson to Indy to RBI Crew to Frankenstein, Mealy Pops, like you name it, Santiago, Mojo, all those people, to see them and be able to just put hands on them, so to speak, it's pretty cool.
Touch them up, as the UFC announced.
Yeah, touch them up a little bit. And
so this is a good prelude, not to interrupt you, Tracy, into why I'm wearing an IndyCar Exchange hat.
Yeah.
Shout out to IndyCar Exchange.
Shut up.
So,
Andy.
yes, I totally agree. It's literally, I talked to Andy, and Andy doesn't really do any shows outside the Midwest Monster and the National. And I wasn't able to attend the Midwest Monster this year because it was the week that my card shop opened. So I literally hadn't seen him in a year. And it's like, I hadn't seen Frankenstein in a year. I hadn't seen Ryan Bannister in a year because I didn't go to the Chicago show. Like, it's wild that, like, it's such a meeting ground for, like, all these people that we're really good friends with. But we're really good friends. We're in this industry. We're really good friends with people that we only see once a year, which is kind of wild. But so I woke up to find that my Texas Roadshow shop hat that I guess only had 4 made had been destroyed by one of my pups.
Oh,
So
man. Been there,
I am
brother.
now supporting IndyCar Exchange.
Was it the one?
Been there, brother.
Oh, I thought he was saying that because an IndyCar Exchange hat wound up on camera at the Field of Dreams game yesterday, which was
also true.
wild.
It's all right. It's just Austin. It's not an actual customer.
Austin Jet.
Austin the Jet.
Can I tell a real quick fun story about the National? That
Please.
You guys know this because I really geeked out on it. I don't geek out over a bunch of stuff, probably because I'm old and I've been exposed to a bunch of different things. So we are lucky enough, a few of us are lucky enough to go to the Panini VIP party. Not no gold packs or black packs or silver packs, but just going as friends of the company.
Right.
It's no secret.
Esteemed guests,
Yes.
some people would say.
Yes, and it's no secret I worked there.
Wait, you didn't get 1,000 gold packs this year?
Did not, no.
Wow.
Got 0 actually. But still,
I picked up some wrappers after people opened the packs, and then I used them to flex. No, I'm kidding.
did you use them to recycle and make sunglasses?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, sweet. So anyway, it's no secret I used to work at Panini. Still love so many of those people. I worked there for 11 years. So we walk into the VIP party, and 2 of their guests were UFC superstars Gilbert Burns and Valentina Shevchenko, champion. And a person I know well from the company who was handling Valentina, who's the sweetest thing ever. She runs up to me when she sees me. She goes, "I need your help."
Valentina is the sweetest thing ever, or the person that was handling?
Valentina.
Okay.
Valentina.
Just wanted clarification.
Well, the other person
Was all right too, but
Valentina is a stone cold assassin who could kick all of our heads off and smile and do her next photo shoot. But she runs up to me because I need your help. I'm with Valentina. She's real particular about her social. She wants to do this video, and I can't do it. Can you do it? And I'm like, I don't work here anymore, but sure, I'd love to do it.
am I getting silver packs for this?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll do it.
So I go talk to Valentina, and she kind of explains to me what she wants. And what she wanted in the video, she was dressed up in her cowgirl hat and her cowgirl boots and like her Western thing because the UFC that night was in Dallas, Texas, Longhorns, all that. So she wanted to support the UFC card from Atlantic City. So she tells me, "Look, I want to start on my boots. So I need you to go down low, and then I need you to come up, and then I'm going to walk towards you. I'm going to do some punches, and then we're going to cut it." And I'm like, perfect. But she's real particular because she's kind of a model too. So we took like 12 or 13 takes, and you don't tell her no. You don't tell her, "I think we're good." You say, so anyway, long story, nailed it, got the one that she wanted. She posted it on her Instagram, and it was one of the highlights of my social media time because that thing now has like 600,000 views, and she's got 2.6 million followers. Nobody will ever know unless you watch the Roadshow Roundup, that I was the videographer for that, but I was. So that's all I wanted to say.
Boom. Take that, Martin
no one knows-
Scorsese.
No one knows that I was the videographer for that bomb Dennis Rodman video that we did.
That's true. Well, unlike the Valentina reel,
I would argue that Dennis Rodman thing, if it got published, would get probably close to as many views.
It would. Oh yeah, that was a special.
The unedited. Time. We should release the unedited.
That was probably my favorite part of the party, though. Was like Justin and I. When we walked in, we walk in and all we see is Tracy on the floor videoing her boots.
Yeah.
Wait, what kind of party is this? I don't know. It was.
Yeah. So anyway, I was really stoked for that, and really that was Saturday night, I guess, and then we had Sunday, which we were kind of packing up and leaving, and then that was a fun fitting into my time at the National. The next day we close out, and I go immediately from Atlantic City to Philadelphia to Dublin to
It barely made your flight, right? Well, no,
yeah,
it got delayed. It got delayed, I guess.
Yeah, thank God. But yeah, so that was a whirlwind week, a whirlwind recap. Anything else you guys want to touch on before we get into the Friday workday?
No, I think that's it. I mean, overall, great trip, great sales, great memories, great connections. Just, I mean, other than it being, I've seen Mojo and Sasha T, who, if y'all know, I'm sure y'all are familiar with Jay at Mojo and Sasha, but two guys who are like
super famous.
Like Sasha is like very real and not negative often, but like negative when he needs to be. Jay is like also very real, but his personality is just like a very positive outlook on life, kind of like the twins.
California thing.
And literally, I've watched Mojo's like 7 videos that he's posted from everything, and the only negative thing is he said, "I never want to come back to Atlantic City." and Sasha like wrapped up the National in like 5 tweets, and basically it was like, "Great show. Can't say enough about the people. The dealers are great. Everything was awesome. Manufacturers are awesome. Corporate was awesome. Never want to go to Atlantic City again." Yep. So I think that's the general consensus of all this is it couldn't have been a better week unless it wasn't in Atlantic City.
Right.
So
honestly, I'm gonna play the Northeast bias and say like I'm fine with it coming back to Atlantic City again. I just want people to listen to me when I tell them what hotels we should stay at.
Facts. And another fact is I don't really care where the National is as long as I get to go with you guys.
Yes,
sir. I don't care where it is.
Absolutely.
And I smile when I say this internally. I'm smiling internally.
Sure.
Probably not on the outward, but I love you guys and I appreciate your time, both here on the podcast and also every day that I get to spend with y'all. You're awesome. And all of y'all watching and listening are awesome. We love you. And we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Ba, 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 ba.